Welcome to A Book with Bubble Tea. With your host, Mira He. Here, I share takeaways from East Asian books on parenting, startups, and self-growth. Seeking insights beyond the typical English shelf? Want to be a better parent and achieve more in life? You are in the right place. Grab your bubble tea and let's dive in. Hi everyone, welcome to the new episode of A Book with Bubble Tea. This is your host, Mira He. And I have a special guest again today. Who are you?
Hannah.
Hannah has been saying, why hasn't she got invited to my podcast lately, right? She wanted to be part of the recording too. So here she is. She just came back from school, so I invited her to join my recording today. And today, you know what we're going to talk about, Hannah? In today's East Asia this week, we're going to talk about something we have never shared before, but it's such a good news for Japan and the world, which is Japan's success in having the most precise spacecraft landing on the moon last Saturday, January 20th. Yay! The spacecraft that just been landed is called SLIM, which is abbreviation for Smart Lander for Investigating Moon, aka the Moon Sniper. And it made such a precise landing on the moon within only 100 meters of its target zone by using a pioneering new image-based automatic navigating system that basically imaged the surface of the moon as it flew over it and located itself quickly by matching the images with onboard maps. The reason why this is so significant, because up until now, no one, not even the most experienced scientist, could predict where the spacecraft would be landing. I mean, yes, there will be a target area for it to land, but often in reality, spacecrafts land a few thousands of kilometers away. It's just hard to control. Why is that? Because landing, as most of us don't know, but landing is one of the hardest things for a space mission. If you miss just by a fraction of it from a far, far, far distance, then you end up missing millions of miles away from your targeted zone. Plus, you need tons of fuel to slow down the aircraft as much as you initially put in to launch it. So it's amazingly difficult and it's amazingly costly. That's why Japan's SLIM spacecraft also made another revolution. Because instead of relying solely on fuel to land, SLIM took a long route to the moon and used the gravity amongst the Earth, the Moon, and Sun system to be the brake to naturally slow down the spacecraft. And with this successful landing, it proved that the route that SLIM took to the moon was cost-effective and can be applied in the future space programs like the US-led Artemis, to send astronauts back to the moon. The only thing that's a bit of a shame about this project is that it had to be cut short due to a power supply issue from the solar panel. It's believed that, when SLIM landed, it took a tumble and it kind of changed the position of the solar panel. So the solar panels were not able to generate power for the spacecraft to perform other activities scientists intended to find out, like looking for a mineral called olivine to see whether it's the same as the one on Earth, to find out whether the moon used to be part of Earth a long time ago. But still, this landing is a success. Especially in recent years, Japan has gone through a lot of recent setbacks in their space mission, like their failed moon landing attempt last April, or the explosion of a rocket engine at a testing facility last July. Or, they have to give command to self-destroy their flagship next-generation H3 rocket after launching due to engine ignition trouble last March. And especially in recent years, the competitions among superpowers to land on the moon have intensified significantly. China had a successful moon landing in 2013 and will have another one this year in February, with their ultimate ambition to send their astronauts to the moon by the end of this decade. And last year, 2023, India also made a history by being the first to land a spacecraft near the moon's south pole, where it was believed there may be frozen water to aid future mission. Or, last year, even Russia sent a spacecraft to the moon. It was the first time in 47 years that Russia revamped itself with an attempt at moon landing. Even though it didn't succeed, the spacecraft basically had a crash. But still, it's their comeback in 47 years. And then, without mentioning of US, they have a lot of lineups already for sending spacecraft to the moon this year. Seeing the intensified competition, how could Japan not be anxious? Because having success in the moon project is not just a boost in national pride or a boost in the space industry or enhancement in scientific advancement, but it's about who will have the upper hand in the future to extract resources from the moon. It's a game that all superpowers in the world are eyeing on. That's why the success in the moon landing is such a big deal for Japan. To be honest, this kind of topic, the space mission or launching of spacecraft is really not my kind of thing. But, recently, my son and even my daughter, they have developed a fascination with SpaceX. To them, the SpaceX is equivalent of space mission. My son will be watching YouTube videos with his dad on how SpaceX would launch their spacecraft. And then he would ask me tons of questions like, how do spacecraft turn in space? Is there a steering wheel? And I'm always like, I don't know. Do you like spacecraft, Hannah?
Yeah.
What do you like about spacecraft?
Because it was the astronauts.
Because of the astronauts.
Yeah.
That's right, but not all the spacecraft have astronauts. Do you know that?
Yeah, I know that.
Some do, some don't. I don't think all of the spacecraft have astronauts, right? No. Oh, but one thing I learned about this while I was researching about this project is even though there has been recent moon rush to send spacecraft to the moon, it doesn't mean there are astronauts on the moon. So a lot of the spacecraft sent are actually, there is no one in it. And it's actually a big project for those superpowers to send humans back to the moon again. And so far, US is the only country that has ever sent astronauts onto the moon. So apparently that's the next big thing, to send astronauts back to the moon. But anyhow, as I'm really excited about the scientific and technological advancement, I also hope those superpowers actually have the ability and the resources to send spacecraft to the moon to control themselves. Don't mess up our space as they have already messed up our world. Be kind and collaborate. I don't want to see their ugly faces when I one day have to migrate to Mars. All right, this is this week's episode of East Asia This Week from A Book with Bubble Tea. Hope you like it. If so, please do subscribe to our podcast or our YouTube channel as well. Now you can listen about our podcast on YouTube too. And this is Mira. And who are you? And let's enjoy our bubble tea for now. Until next week, right?
Bye.
Bye-bye. You know how important this is, Hannah?
Because of sleeping time.
Because of what?
Sleeping time.
Sleeping time.